This world has been connected, tied to the darkness, soon to be completely eclipsed.
Hello there, Sarah from 17 once again. This is my Kingdom Hearts Final Mix Proud Difficulty walkthrough. We're going towards Deep Jungle and the land of all things Phil Collins, but before we get there we have to do the gummy ship. And oh, the gummy ship, man. I've been watching another YouTuber's playthrough of this game, but it abruptly got cancelled because his PlayStation 3 died. And the gummy ship... My ability to talk is often perturbed by my fat tongue. Now, the gummy ship sections of his playthrough are some of the most enjoyable parts of his series because he hates it. And it's just... it's so funny to watch somebody have so little enjoyment from a part of the game that you have to do so frequently. And it's delicious misery, and I'm a vampire when it comes to that kind of misery, so I enjoy it thoroughly. But this level's intended to be taken after the Colosseum because the stars is 3 stars as opposed to the 2 stars of the Colosseum, so the progression of the natural game is not here. And if you're finding this place difficult and you come here first, you can always go to the other one. You know, you can take the worlds down in any order you want. You know, there's no preset order. And this place is hard. I remember this being hard when I was a kid because I remember the Clayton boss being really difficult. And he can be, because you can die really quickly if you're too close or if you're getting too spammy and he starts landing some quick attacks. But when I came here on the guide, I did him first time, I'm happy to say, and it was an interesting match. So hopefully you'll have my luck and you'll not have any trouble with it. But what I can say is the level design of Deep Jungle is probably the biggest offender in this entire game. It's the worst. It's a really nice level, it looks good, it's got some fun areas, it's got some good music. That's not the issue. The issue is the scripting. Because essentially you have to go all the way down, to go all the way back up, to go all the way back down, to go all the way back up, and you do this 4 or 5 times. It's really, really bad. But, that being said, the level's got so much charm, maybe you'll not notice that. Because if you do, you're going to be spending 20 to 30 minutes going up and down a level repeatedly, and there's really no excuse for it other than, I don't know, man, were they all fucking high? I don't know. But this is Deep Jungle, and there's a little bit of dialogue happening here because we're about to crash the gummy ship, and you are now trapped here. So this is the leopard, I believe it is. It could be a cheetah, I guess. My knowledge of those kind of cats is not good. I always assumed this guy was a leopard, so we're going to go with that. He is a leopard, and he's called Sabor. So he's going to crop up all the time, this dude. And the best thing you can do is when he roars like that, do the full combo because you'll knock him away from you. If you want to do this, you know, like a pro and save some of your life, even though it doesn't really matter, just avoid him. Avoid all his attacks, wait for the roar, and then punish the roar. But if you want to just beat him up like I did, you should have enough life and enough damage at this point to take him out before he kills you. And the first thing I'm doing here, guys, is I'm going into Tarzan's abilities. I'm getting rid of abilities that use up MP, because when the guys on your team have a ton of MP abilities, they'll use them a lot. And I don't really want Tarzan to use all his MP immediately, when he can have those abilities that he would be spamming put into something else like critical hits, so then when he does a normal attack or any of his special ones he's left with, he can do more damage. So that's my logic there. I don't actually know what Tarzan's best ability to keep is, because at this moment in time I just need him for his stats. And that'll be my strategy for the entire game. Keep the person that the level gives you, and then put Goofy in with him. Your entire party will level up at the same time, so Donald's not going to suffer by not using him. And Donald is great because he's a glass cannon. He does massive damage, but he dies all the time. And on a game like this, on a difficulty like this, you need as much of a distraction for the enemies as possible. So Goofy's just so much better because he's a turtle. He doesn't do a lot of damage, you know, he doesn't do a lot of good, but he stays alive long enough to keep them off your back. And when all your team is dead and it's just you, this game really starts to rear its head with some of the ugliness. Like, you can get stun locked by groups of enemies doing their basic attack, and it can be really difficult to get away from it, and you can just get chain killed, and it's frustrating. So you need every advantage you can get. But let's have a look at some of the stuff here that the guide is recommending. So Sabor has 180 life when we fight him in the next encounter coming up. Or maybe he has 100 life in general and he just keeps running away. He's got 12 strength, 11 dexterity, 11 defense, sorry, and he gives 150 experience. He also drops a white fang. Actually, this might be in the final fight with him, this statistic I've just given you. It is indeed. Interesting. So yeah, that's on the final fight, that, guys, so don't take too much heed to what I've just said. Instead, we're going to go to the stats page and see what he's rocking. Here we go. So, I believe for every encounter, his HP is 90 up until the final encounter. Then his strength is the same, his defense is the same, and his experience is only 15 experience per pop. He drops nothing at all, and he's weak against thunder. So there you go. But here is a minigame. And if you're wondering on how to avoid the second log after the first jump, because if you just jump you'll get hit by it every time and it's confusing, all you have to do is swing the keyblade. It extends your jump, not a lot, but enough to keep you in the air so that you can dodge it. And this is base camp. So this place has a lot of cool stuff you can do if you want to, and I'm going to be ignoring all of it, unfortunately, which is a shame because there's some really interesting stuff. There's a side quest here, there's a couple of subtle experiments you can do where you put in potions and things and you get ethers out and vice versa. So you can get access to some cheap and easy items by manipulating the systems that are available here. Something to bear in mind, at least. But what I'm doing is I'm picking up all the slides, which is an objective we're going to be given shortly, and I'm going to go into the tent, and instead of having to come back out and find them, I've got them all before we go in, and we can carry on with the game. But what will happen is when the Heartless show up, in this area there's going to be a ton of monkeys, and the monkeys are the Heartless for this world, and they're very tricky at first because they've got an interesting two-piece attack. They do a lot of damage too. But alternatively to them, there can also be the white mushroom guys, which are a really strange enemy that I never understood when I first played the game because I was a stupid child. But when you cast a certain spell that they want, you get items for it, and if you do 3 in a row you get better items, and it's a way to get some interesting synthesis tools and some pretty easy experience. But this is Sabor, and did you see that just then? Whenever Tarzan does that move to him, he will knock him some serious distance, so bear that in mind and then always capitalize. And as you can see, this guy goes down really quickly. Once again, if you want to be super, if you want to not use any items or keep your life as high as you can, space him completely, wait for him to be knocked over, and then you can attack. The boss itself will pretty much primarily go for you, so you can control him quite easily. Just be aware he can move very fast sometimes, and if he does, you can kick your ass. But this room here, there'll be monkeys in this room as well. When you come back to it, after you've killed them, there's this enemy that's exclusive to the final mix. And if you don't know, the difference between the first game and the final mix edition, aside from some cutscenes and some difficulties and things like that, they added specific Heartless. And they're all weird. They're all super, super strange things that take very specific ways to kill them. And this is one of them. And I've not killed this guy because I'm shit, essentially. And what he does is, he lines himself up with duplicates and you've got to hit the right one, but if you don't hit the right one, you mess up and he electrocutes you. But the problem is, it's so hard to go through the lock-ons to get to the right one in time, all he does is electrocute you, and it's not fun at all. It's zero fun. So you're not going to see me engaging with that guy because I don't like him. But this room here, there's a couple of chests you can get now, some you need to come back later when you've got the better jump. There are 2 vines you can climb here. Both of them lead to the same place, but one of them requires you to do some kind of crazy, like liana swinging, those, wicked jungle ropes that you see Tarzan, who's such a natural on. And you're going to see me try to jump onto this platform a few times because I'm an idiot and I'm not using the attack to get to it. So as you can see, the attack will extend your jump, but for the most, it's not enough because Sora will not grab these platforms, so just come back later and you should be fine. But we're heading for the chest on the ridge there, just past the hippo. Jump onto the hippo, then jump and attack. And then when you climb up this vine or this tree trunk, it's going to take you directly to the area where we need to go, where we're going to be treated with another cutscene. And if you get lost here, guys, I recommend talking to NPCs. Sometimes Jane will tell you that you need to rescue gorillas, which means you need to go to the places and save all of them, and you've obviously missed a place. Sometimes she'll tell you need to go to the treehouse, which is something that you're going to have to do a lot. A lot of back and forth on this level. Really not the biggest fan of it, but what can you do? But the cool thing is, when we do this mission, we get access to a new Keyblade. And new Keyblades are one of the most fun parts of the game, because not only do they look really different, but they've got different lengths, you know, different abilities, different stats. They're that awesome RPG moment where you've got something new and different and interesting, and it completely revitalizes the experience. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the enemies before we fight them, so I can give you an appraisal on what we're going to be expecting and what kind of stats as a base point for the normal game. And all you need to do is creatively embellish upon the stats, because that's exactly what this difficulty is. And also, you might be wondering why I'm not hitting the blue Triforces, or blue Trinities, sorry. You actually need Donald with you to do the Trinity things. Why am I calling him Triforce, man? That's fucking Zelda. And I don't have him right now, so I come back later on to do them, guys. I recommend doing them, but once again, I'm trying to be as concise with this guide as I can be, so I'm trimming all the fat and just keeping it on point. So here we go again, doing the slide down Phil Collins Hill. Let's find these enemies. So there's two kinds of monkey Heartless you're going to be fighting, and they're entitled Power Wild. One word. So the standard guy, which is the male one, the females are annoying, they drop banana peels. But the male, he's got 30 HP, he's got 12 strength, 11 defense, and 4 experience. He drops HP balls and money, and he's got potions at 2%, power shards at 8%, and Protera chains at 0.5%, which means he is good to farm for those Protera chains, but he's 0.5% less than you would if you fought the fat guys. So, an interesting choice, but the details on this character, it says, if a Power Wild steps on a banana and slips, he will drop 20 small money balls, 5 mediums. He can also drop 20% chance of dropping an Ether, 4% a Mega Ether, and 16% a Shard. So these are the guys I'm talking about. However, these guys have got a different colour to the guy in here. This guy's blue. These guys are not blue. So that's weird. Maybe they changed the colour for Final Mix. Maybe these only appear on Proud. I'm not too sure. But once again, pinch of salt, guys. These stats are just a base level. And the female equivalent is a pink one. And she's much weaker. She's only 18 HP. And she drops high potions at 2% chance, power shards at 12% chance. So she's actually really good for trying to get power shards. And Protera chain at 1%, which is equal to the fat guys, but they're a pain in the ass to kill because they run away. And once again, if she slips on the banana peel, she drops pretty much very similar values as the male guy does. So something to bear in mind. But what we're doing now is we're protecting the monkeys. Oh, the monkeys, that's completely wrong. Protecting the gorillas, completely different genus. And to do this, you have to go into pretty much every area we've been to and kill Heartless. Once you've killed them, there's a little cutscene of a gorilla being very happy and grateful and what have you. And then you've got to move out. And you've got to do one by the tent, you've got to do one here, you've got to do one by the next place, and then you've got to go all the way back to the treehouse. It's just... like, if this game didn't look so damn good and didn't make me want to smile so damn much, I would have probably been really mad at the level design, but you just can't. It's too charming. It's too much charm. But this enemy, they evade you, and when they evade, they'll generally do a slide attack, and after the slide attack, they'll do a jumping flurry of claws. and if they hit you with any of those moves, it really hurts. So my recommendation is to dodge the attack and then catch them, but just be aware, after they've attacked, they jump away, much like Ornstein, the bastard. They can be difficult to hit when you've got a Keyblade doing a short range attack, which for the most, that thrust there is, see what I mean? I go to attack him, he dodges, he tries to attack me, I dodge him, and I miss again. Like, it can be pretty tricky, but I'm close to dying at this point, and that noise is reminding me of this, which is a feature that I wish you could turn off. But luckily enough, someone gives me an item, probably Tarzan, because I think he's stocked, and we can continue onwards. And the times you're going to get hit sloppily are the moments when you think you're hitting the full crowd of enemies, and for whatever reason you don't hit all of them, and somebody hits you. And it happens all the time. And once again, if you're looking to do higher level play, more strategic, just pull out, divide and conquer, single out each enemy. Don't put yourself in groups because you're just going to take cheap hits. My walkthroughs are that in a nutshell. Good strategies, I like to think, and a few cheap hits. But I think you can skip this fight if you don't want to do it. But I'm getting 4 experience every time I kill one. There's the flurry of claws that they do, the little scratch attack. And you're doing it again, and it's so dangerous on Proud. It does a lot of damage. And my motto for this playthrough that I think you should adhere to is whatever the unique Heartless is in the level, that's the one that needs to be respected, because they're so dangerous. The ones that stand out are the Neverland guys, the pirates with the scimitars, the goddamn Arabian Night guys, the ones from Agrabah that have... Are they using scimitars as well? I have no idea. Very similar looking sword. Maybe they use some kind of, I don't know, shotel or something along those lines. It's a curved sword. They're really dangerous too. And then the last one is the awful mummy guys in Halloween Town. They do so much damage so quick, like, so dangerous. That is a female version of the Power Wilds, so make sure you kill her quickly and then steal all her money. And I'm sitting on about 500 money at this moment in time. Something to bear in mind, it costs 60 money balls to buy potions. Potions are what you generally want to give your lackeys because they burn through them so quickly, there's no point giving them anything more expensive because they'll never use it intelligently, and at the end you'll just regret paying so much money for them to piss them up the wall. Another thing I'm going to say is, towards the end of the game, I don't have too much money, because once again I've been avoiding as many fights as I can to try and get the speedrun achievement. Especially in the final area, I just run it, because that's when I realised I could actually do it. So I didn't have any money, so instead of going back and buying potions and ethers, I instead gave all the rare items I would normally never really use to the characters. And I'm going to say this in the videos, I'm going to literally say, this save point is the one before the end of the game. Give yourself all the items you wouldn't normally use if you want to. You don't have to, but if you do use them, you're not going to be saving, so you're going to get them all back anyway. And it enables you to have the most powerful healing stuff at a drop of a hat that makes all the final bosses so much easier and so much more manageable. And that's what I'm going to be doing, because like I said, this save file is dead to me after this. I'm never going to use it again. I'm going to revert back to my first one, because I'm stronger on that one. I've done more synthesis, I've got more items, I've done more farming, I've done more quests. But thank you for watching, and you take care now.